afternoon, you Tuesday man. Always George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bobby Talk. Coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, actually, I mean, good morning, because it's 10 o'clock. Where are your children at? It used to be back in the day in the morning we used to watch cartoons, and you don't have that anymore. It's sad. You get up in the morning, kids. You don't have, like I grew up in a generation. Saturday morning was a great day. We didn't leave the house. We made sure we did our chores and stuff like that. And we sat for the television till about noon and watched cartoons and go outside and play. But kids now don't have that because kids are just not kids anymore. So anyway, folks, this is the interview I have with a lovely lady here that I reached out some time ago. She is an IFBB pro. She's a new IFBB pro. She just got a pro card just last year, and she is a physique competitor. This is the lovely Mrs. Jessica Coleman, and we would like to ask to the lovely Miss Coleman, how did you get into the sport of muscle and masculinity?
Hey, George. I've always loved fitness and weightlifting. I started training and conditioning when I was in high school for sports, and I was good at it. So I just loved it, and I always took care of myself and would do cardio and weights just, to be strong and to be fit. So that's pretty much when it started. So I think that, kids in high school that get started conditioning for their sports, they can do this. It's a lifelong thing for them. And that's how it started for me. Actually getting into competing didn't come for me until much later in life. I did my first competition at 40 years old. And worked really hard, and 5 years later I earned my pro card. So it's been pretty cool, but lifelong fitness is where it all started for me. And then I just decided to take it to the next level.
Yeah, FAS is a lot of people. Well, I did a couple interviews with some ladies who there's quite a few ladies now who I know did an interview with Gina Cavallero. She said she got into bodybuilding when she's in her 40s.
Yeah.
And I think it's a growing number of women who come to sport later in life. There's a lot of women who are. I just before I did the interview, I just said happy birthday to the lady who I'm good friends with. She's almost 60, and she's been a pro for about a couple of years now. And I'm seeing like people like one lady I got to meet at Savannah last year, Irene Anderson, who's also almost in her 60s.
Wow, that's incredible.
And still, you have a lot of these, these ladies now coming into life to sports. Some of them start out like I know one lady I did an interview. She competed back in the 90s. That's Melanie Horton. She competed in '99 in the Olympia, and then she took a step back, had her kids, and now she's been competing for the last 4 or 5 years, and I think she's planning on doing the Masters Olympia. Now, as yourself as a competitor, what's your thoughts of how the sport has evolved ever since you started?
So for me, I think that what I've seen a lot more of is that, when you start competing, you start kind of smaller, and then you keep building and improving and working your way up. And so I've really seen, athletes and divisions just keep getting bigger. The girls from all divisions, as they continue to grow and have improvement seasons, they either move up a division or the division just starts getting bigger as a whole. And so everyone's just trying to keep getting bigger and bigger in that particular division. And it's interesting to see as a women's physique competitor now, I kind of got to a place where I was a little too big for figure as far as muscularity goes. And I get really dry, like my body gets shredded. So when I get down really lean with my really low body fat, it's a little, the striations are there. It's a little bit more than figure. So, I moved up to women's physique, and that was a perfect fit for me. But now as a pro, looking at, the competition out there, it's overwhelming because the girls are, they're very seasoned athletes, and they're very big. So I think that's one of the things that I've seen trending over the years. Even figure girls have gotten a lot bigger in size, and I'm always surprised. There seems to be levels to figure. I guess there's levels to all divisions, but ultimately it comes down to conditioning.
Yeah, because I think one thing I talk about here is that how the lines are blurring between the divisions. You're seeing figure girls going up to physique. You're seeing physique girls going to bodybuilding. You're seeing bikini girls going up to physique, and keep progressing.
Yeah.
And you have the division like wellness, where I've seen some women. I did an interview with a lady a while back. She was a physique competitor, but she switched over to wellness just recently. I know another lady who interviewed a while back. She was a figure competitor. She's thinking moving over, but I think it works with the aesthetics of how your body's shaped. I think some women will have more of the smaller tapering waist, and that'd be good for divisions like physique or figure. And some women are a little bit broad, a little thicker, and that's more like women's bodybuilding. Folks, we got a man here, Rolando G, coming through. He says, wow, George, wow, great to see Miss Jessica Coleman. Hey, George, I'm here, sir. Appreciate you, brother. And folks, like I said, this is a lady who I think she's a very amazing lady. She got her pro card at the US. I think it was the Junior USA's,
Yes, that's correct.
and that was this past summer in Manning, South Carolina. Because I'm in North Carolina. I got a guy. He had a lady who competed there. She was competing as a wellness competitor, and she won her pro card too. It's just there's, like I said, with these shows, there's great opportunities for you ladies. And I think for the divisions, I think it's a lot harder for women's bodybuilding compared to physique. And I'm seeing like there's a push to they want the divisions to come in more feminine, a little bit more, less more about femininity, not as much about size and conditioning. But the thing is, as some women evolve and develop, you can't just keep somebody in the package. We see competitors where, as you said earlier, here how you started developing, and then you say, I might as well go up to physique because I come in shredded. I'm too shredded for figure because I know I was talking to some people say like they'll want the figure and the bikini girls have too much styrations in the glutes. But with styration, that comes from when you drop down to a very low body weight and you lose a lot of your fat density, and then you start seeing the muscle detail from the gluteus muscles.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so funny because there's so much genetics that plays a role in bodybuilding. So, it's kind of like your genetics are basically, indicative of where your body is going to grow and where your strengths are. Like for instance, my legs and my quads I'm very quad dominant, and that's just something I was born with, right? So you got, girls trying to build their legs up, and genetically maybe they're stronger in the back area, wide back, thick muscles in the back, which is not genetically where I'm gifted. So I have to work extra hard, to build up my back and upper body. But yeah, I think it's important to at least comment or mention that genetics plays a huge role. So, on top of a lot of hard work, you can really take your genetics and make, shape and mold a great physique out of it.
hmm We got here Rolando, saying, yeah, I like when you ladies go bigger in mass. I know for some it's maybe uncomfortable for the lovely ladies, athletes that have mass. I'm a guy, really appreciate how you can get in size. I think with bodybuilding it's more about size. I think physique's more about conditioning. As you know, figure is kind of walks that fine line in between where in which, some women like the other night we were talking. I sent you a picture of a girl by the name of Blanca Sales, and we talked about her how she is a figure competitor, but looks like she might go into physique. And then one point she said she's thinking about doing wellness, but I don't know where she trains and how her body developed. I don't think it's a good move for her. And then we talk about another lady who did compete at the Olympia because you went to Olympia,
Yes, I
and
went. I didn't
and
compete. I didn't compete
you
or
yeah.
qualify, but I went to go watch.
And
Yes.
what was it like to be there? Because I know some people say it was a great opportunity. It was kind of cold because Vegas is not as warm as it is around about the year. I know some ladies. I did an interview with Danielle Willis that Christmas Eve, and that was the week after that she competed in Olympia. She was under the weather, and she still
Okay.
came in like a trooper and interviewed with me. I know one lady I was talking to, she had got pneumonia. I mean, it was just that's why they're moving it back to Orlando this year because it's the weather's a little better. I think some say the venue was a little bit more, you know, it's more of a better a venue for if you like, how you want to move around a bit and how the motel was closer to the show than it was with Vegas.
Yeah, so Vegas was a lot of fun. Being a first time, this is my first time going, so it was all exciting. Um, I was a little overwhelmed. Really, I walked around and I wanted to see all the competitors, and I really wasn't able to see everyone that I wanted to see. But like the meet and greets the night before the show, that was really cool. Going to see the prejudging and the expo the next day. There was a lot of people, lots of really cool sponsors there walking around. It just felt like like it was a really great experience to be a part of and to go as a spectator.
Mhm. You been gambling? Say,
No, I don't like gambling. I don't play the lottery. And if I do gamble and I win $10, I'm like, I'm good. Like I got
yeah.
my $10.
Yeah, I used we have like that here inside. We have the scratch off things. I buy them in now and then. I don't buy them that much. One time, I think I hit one for $100, and I say, you know what? That's $100 in my pocket I didn't have before. Folks, like I say, I'm gonna check some stuff on her social media. She's on IG and several other platforms. If you're interested in conversating or even reaching out to the lovely Miss Coleman, I would say check out the information in the description. Reach out to, but I got a rule, guys. And I know you guys. I know Jennifer's an attractive woman. You guys when you see ladies there when they're on your conditioning when they're shredded and you get that tickle in your pickle. This is something I tell you guys, and I know you're not gonna do it. No D pics. Don't do
Yes,
it.
no, thank you. No,
Yeah,
no, thank.
stop it. Get some help. I
That's right.
know. Yeah, it just. Well, we'll go here quick to her social media real quick here. And it's just a picture she has posted, some stuff here, and look very impressive. Like this is like one here when you're much younger here. You're coming up. You know, I remember those kind of photos we took when we got out of high school. Those wait a minute, wait, right here. And,
Oh, that's actually my daughter. So I have two
oh,
teenage daughters, and
oh,
that's my oldest daughter when she was really young. Um, so yeah, that's my oldest girl who just turned 18, and she's going
uh,
here.
yeah, these your babies.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, I know. Like I said, it's a special. It's special to be also an athlete and competitor and to raise children. I know it's difficult because there's times where what I got to do a show, but sometimes something coming up with my with this and that and trying to find time. They're cute little girls. I mean they
Yeah.
look just like their mother.
They're
You know.
beautiful. And it is definitely a balancing act trying to do it all. But we've made it work. Right now, I'm enjoying time with my girls, especially, since my oldest is going away to college at the end of the summer. It's really important for me to make sure that I'm also making them my priority, and they come first. They always have to come first. My girls they are my life. So yeah.
And this is a picture from the Junior USA. We got your pro card. And
Yes.
wow, very impressive. Good, developing the quads. Good tricep. I mean, it's just, you have a great physique. I think it's a good quality physique that I think they want to see. And this is the picture, right? Oh wow,
That
this
was
is
a photo
see.
shoot the day after the show. So, when I post those pictures, I want to make sure that people know that this isn't what I look like in real life, on a day-to-day basis.
Mhm.
I'm not a fitness model. I, don't strive to be. I think that it's important to capture moments when you're in your best physical condition because you worked so hard for it. You need to capture that. So then, when I am older and not able to do this anymore, I want to be able to look back and be like, you know what, I did that. I
Mhm.
did that.
Yeah. And this is more pictures here. This is another picture from the Junior USA. And like I said, you have great quality muscle, especially for women of maturity. And it's like it's sometimes a lot harder for women, especially your body changes, your metabolism does slow down a little bit when you get older. And this is here. Who's that with you right there?
And that's Samantha Jaring.
Oh
So
yeah, we talked about Samantha. Yeah, because Samantha's planning on going over to wellness
yes,
next year. We talked about how I think she should might as well go over to physique because where I follow on social media because where she trains really heavy.
she
And
is so strong. She's one of the strongest women I've ever met. Um, but the thing about Sam is I know she's going to be successful in wellness too, because she literally will make a decision to do something and she'll do everything that she can. She came out of the gate coming back from Olympia. Instead of taking some time off, she went straight into training legs, I guess 5 days a week, to grow her legs and her glutes. And she's on a mission to do that. She has the potential to compete in any division. I mean, her physique is incredible. But she's so strong. I don't think that regardless of what division she's in, she's always going to be strong. I
Mhm.
think that the focus has just changed for her.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I
she
know.
definitely could do physique. She's great at figure, but I think she's going to do great in wellness too.
Yeah, that's good. We got here Rolando City. He's asking a question. He says, just you are physique correct? So yeah, she's physique. So he says, and he's like I said, he like the big freaky chicks. He says, okay, and also we were at USA's. You competed with a lady that I talked about recently. She passed away. That is Ginger Root,
Yes.
and her death was by suicide, and it happens. It's surprising. It happens quite often in the sport. Because one thing is that it can affect your mind. Especially, I know I talk to some ladies. Like sometimes a couple of times I'm gonna have a phone call with some ladies and say, they're going through something. We just sit and talk and just say, hey, just you'll be all right. And that's the tough part about it. That this sport can also affect your mental aspect. People don't understand that. We got a picture here we'll pull up here of it was like you and Ginger together.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is a nice little thing. You posted on your social media, and it's really cool. It shows a lot of respect and love for somebody, And how long you and Ginger know each other?
So it's interesting. We met on stage at Junior USA's, and I call us, we were IFBB Pro Twins because we both won our pro cards together. And, the thing is with Ginger, she's such a humble, beautiful person. And from hello, we were friends. And, we were on stage and the overall. And when they said, okay, ladies, it's time for a pose down, I looked over at Ginger and we laughed at it. We smiled real big and then we just had fun with it. And afterwards, we talked and congratulated each other and kept in touch after the show. And we were just, really supportive of each other and kind of, being each other's cheerleader and, hoping to see each other do well. I think the thing about this sport, and I said this to you before, is a lot of competitors are so good at the sport because they've been through a lot in their life. We're fighters, we're survivors. We've gone through really tough things, and that's what makes us good at sticking to a prep and going through everything that it takes to be good on stage. So we all have demons. We all have things that we're fighting. You never know what somebody else is going through. I went through a little something towards the end of the year last year, and it can be tough to pull yourself out of. But the news about Ginger, it was so sad because of how much potential she had. What a beautiful person she really was. And I'm really sad that happened. She was loved, and she had a great family and a son and lots of friends. She was from Florida, so we couldn't really see each other much, but we did stay in touch. And I'll tell you something. When I found out about Ginger, I immediately became so grateful, so much more grateful for where I am in my life. And it's something like that really makes you think about how every day is so precious. So yeah, it was kind of teared up a little bit when you mentioned her name because it's heartbreaking. It really is. So
Well, my condolences to her, her son, the rest of her family. Like I
great.
said, I think about a couple of years ago, we had like a bunch of competitive bodybuilders pass away. A couple of suicides, some, you know, due to either illness. I think just um, last month we had Amy Richardson who passed away because he had pneumonia. Had Tanya Knight, who's a legend, who passed away because of cancer. A couple others that passed. It's just it's just a sad thing that happens. But like I said, as long as people realize that, you know what, if things get bad, don't let those dark feelings come in your head. If you need some help, this is like I'm telling you out to anybody.
Anybody,
If you need some help when those feelings get to you, reach out. Don't be afraid. There's nothing shameful about it. I know,
no,
especially in my community, the black community, we see that mental health issues is a, excuse my French, it's a white person's thing. But the fact is, it's a human thing. We're
it's
all humans. We have different ethnic background, nationalities, all that, but we all are humans. And sometimes your body be willing, but the mind, if it doesn't go with you, you just can't help it. But it's just like I
it's
said,
a real thing. I mean, mental health issues, it's a very real thing. And I just wanted to piggyback on what you said. For anyone listening, anyone struggling, like there are people that love you so much. Don't don't let yourself get to that place where you know nobody can help you. Like anybody will drop everything to help you through it. So you know definitely do that, and just remember, so many people love you, so many, regardless of how it feels in that moment.
hmm And the quote from one of my favorite movies, Batman Begins, and I know a lot of people who watch my channel, that's my favorite trilogy, the Batman, Chris Nolan. I love Christian Bale as Batman. I liked it how at the movie where Thomas Wayne says to his son Bruce, says, Bruce, why do we fall? Can we learn to pick ourselves up? And that's how, and when you fall, you have somebody who want to help you and pick you up, then take that help. Don't be afraid of it. We got a man, Rolando G. He says also, I have been talking about putting some together to help the athlete ladies like you out. We as male fans need to be more support. Jessica and I, he said, "Ho," he said, she said, "Hope I can be
I got
successful with
it.
that." Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. And also, he says, "My apologies. I hope misspelled that last comment." Yeah, we don't got no hoes out here. There's no hoes in here out here. But
I'm
yeah,
not at you if that's all right.
yeah, but like I said, I understand that part. But you know what we need to see is, with bodybuilding, if people don't understand, is that it's not a very lucrative sport compared to other sports. It's
Right.
it's a fringe sport. It's a poor man's sport. And for you ladies, it costs more for you financially wise. Because I remember when back in the day, ladies used to have maybe one posing suit, nothing too fancy. But then over the years, the looks has changed. The girls have to wear bedazzled stuff, the hair, jewelry, makeup. You know, they want to look real nice. It costs more for you women to compete compared to now with men because of food and stuff like that they need to eat. But guys, all they got to wear is a pair of banana hammocks or board shorts.
Right.
And that's the one thing is about that.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a very expensive sport. Even just the food. I mean the amount of food, and the type of food you want to eat, the best of everything. Supplements. There's a lot that it takes to build and maintain a physique. So I really appreciate that comment about you know males being more supportive, because it is really tough for women in the sport, and I think that people view women as trying to be sexy or trying to be hot, and that's a small part of it, because your body of course looks beautiful, but it's not. It's a sport, and we're athletes, and it's not all about photo shoots and bikinis and all that stuff. There's actually such a competitive important aspect of it that I think people miss a lot of the times. And with males, they're all considered athletes. Like, oh my gosh, they're definitely athletes in the sport. Nobody questions that. I think women are more objectified, and I think that when people do put me down, and like in social media platforms. And it's not often, but there's negative stuff that comes through, and people automatically want to say, she's ugly, she's disgusting, she looks like she's 89 years old, things like that. And I'm sitting here like, I'm not trying to be pretty for you. Like, I'm an athlete and I'm competing in a sport, and you wouldn't say that about the guys, or even women in a different sport. Like, I just think that bodybuilding for women is frowned upon because girls aren't supposed to have muscles, I guess.
Yeah, because the fact that the idea of women is femininity. You're supposed to be soft. You're supposed to be feminine. Like you're supposed to don't have striations. You're supposed to don't have biceps bigger than most dudes. And some people they feel like that's kind of offensive to them, the mindset, because the idea of what women supposed to be is supposed to be like yourself, your mom. You should be wearing mom jeans, but but there is those guys, like I said, like myself, who find y'all very, very attractive. Also, who respect you as an athlete.
Yeah.
That's why I see. Yes, there's the underlying part about the schmoes part is I know one lady who told me that we're not schmoes, we're friends. But because if you look at the men, they get more support, more attention, more of the money. Because the fact is, if you break it down, they're the bottom bitches of the sport because they
Right.
bring in the money. With the
Right.
women, you have to try to do something to get more attention. Yes, you have to sexualize yourself a little bit because the fact is, it's the only way you can get attention. But still, you should get just as much you put in as you into sport as you get out of it.
Yeah.
But it's just a double standard. But we got some people coming through here right now. We got my man Balls Deep. He's saying, salute and what up and salute George. Appreciate my man Balls Deep. He says Chicago in here. He says press that like button. Yeah. Also, he says to you, Jessica, good morning, gorgeous. And he like to say this: she's beautiful.
Good morning. Thank you so much.
And to quote the other guy, she is beautiful.
Love it.
Yeah. That's my man. I love Heath Ledger as a Joker. He took that character and ran. I remember I saw Jack Nicholson. He did a pretty good job. He took it, ran. I hate that happened to him. Also, Ballsy, he says, peace, peace and blessings, beautiful. And also we have here is Rolando. He says, oh, he's talking to Balls Deep. And also, he has a question he has to ask you.
Okay.
She got an OnlyFans.
So I don't have an OnlyFans. I mean, I've got 2 teenage daughters, right? So I'm trying to set a good example for them. Of course, I've considered it. But, I think that my girls would just be too embarrassed, especially if some of their guy friends in high school were checking it out. But, right now, no.
Yeah, I think the last thing you want right now is when you have kids, especially young girls, and then like they come up to your girl and say, "Hey, I saw your mama on OnlyFans," and
Exactly.
and it's a,
right now, it's sometimes they're really proud of it, but sometimes it gets a little bit, annoying for them now, and that's without OnlyFans.
yeah.
But yeah, it's a different ballgame when you have teenage daughters that you kind of like. I don't want to see them on OnlyFans, right? Not that I, would be looking, but I want to set the example for them that I want them to have every opportunity in the world to make their own decisions and all that. But if I can nudge them in the right direction. I mean, there's nothing wrong with OnlyFans. Don't get me wrong, but as a mom, it's just different. It's different.
Well, I know I talked to some ladies that they don't go to extreme. Like some, they don't go to, they do stuff like a little bit more PG-13, like, they do stuff like just workout stuff and just like poses do stuff, nothing too X-rated, but they feel comfortable. But like I said, it's not for everybody, as we call them, the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. Because most guys, you go on OnlyFans, you go on there for a reason. You don't you just go in there to sometimes you might be on your job saying like, where the boss? Say, okay, yeah. Where's the lotion? So, but it's a way for some of you ladies to make income. Like I know some ladies today do OnlyFans, they do her biceps, they do most of the girls, they do photo shoots. I know some women who've done hardcore porn. It's just because instead again, bodybuilding's not profitable. And if it was, some ladies wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
But like I said, yourself, because you said you have children, and last thing you want to do is like, some one of your daughter's guy friends come say, "Hey, Miss Coleman," and I was like, I was watching your OnlyFans, and I say, I say, oh, I say, mom, I say,
well, we're talking high school boys, right? So that's even more like embarrassing. The high school boys.
Yeah.
That's the age group my girls are right now. But I'll tell you this. I have so much respect for women that are, maximizing on their work, their hard work, and financially great, good for them. I think that as long as a woman is totally fine, you know, with themselves and confident enough with themselves to do that, go for it. I think it's great. I personally have a day job. I work a 9 to 5, and that's the bread and butter for my family. I'm a single mom. I have to, run a household and financially support my kids. So, you know, I can't rely on like income that isn't guaranteed.
Hmm. That's why I love, like I said, being raised by a single mom. My father and mother were together for 55 years. 30th, he was spending it up in New Jersey, and she was still here in North Carolina. And she had to raise six of us kids and two grandkids. She had to work, jobs here and there and feed us and just try to, and like I said, I have a lot of respect for ladies like yourself who have children, who's doing what you got to do to feed your family.
Yeah.
And people got to understand that the fact is you are a mother, you are a woman, and
Yeah.
and some people might say like this, okay, she's trying to be a man. Yeah, 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 yeah. Are you sure you're a woman? It's funny how people make those comments, but
Yeah.
understand this is a very attractive young lady right here in front of me. You
Well, thank
know,
you.
don't think me. It's my duty as a man to let a woman know what she's. It's my duty as a man. That's what we're supposed to do.
That's right.
There's no thanks we need for that. But people got to understand you're an athlete also.
Yeah.
You're even though bodybuilding is not seen as a mainstream sport. I remember back in the day when I was coming up, you used to can watch bodybuilding like on television, like
Right.
ABC, Fox Sports,
Now
ESPN.
you stream it online.
Yeah, you can most things watch it online because it's I remember ESPN used to show it. Like, sometimes I catch it in the afternoons and sometimes late at night. But because that it's not considered a real sport, and there's not much money out of it, and because also the thing they poured about it because the use of steroids. But the thing is, people got to remember, steroids is about in every sport. Remember a few years ago they had a whole congressional hearing about baseball and steroids. It went after Barry Bonds, went after Mark McGuire and them. You'll see it more in these mainstream sports than you do in bodybuilding. Yes, bodybuilding gets pointed because the fact is, you don't build muscle like that without taking performance enhancers. You just can't build. There's natural bodybuilding, but with natural bodybuilding, it's more about conditioning more than about size. And I think people they just don't understand that part of the sport. Some that for one, especially if you do use steroids, if anybody does it, it's because it's a way to help you recover, helps you with some issues with your because you want to develop and grow.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a personal decision that everyone makes, and it just depends on, you know, what you want to get out of it. I think the most frustrating part for me is to, excuse me, to see people put it down, and really preach about, oh, I'm a natural athlete and all this stuff, and act like that's reason why they're not super muscular. But really, it's not an excuse for natural athletes to say, oh well, you know I'm not in shape because I'm a natural athlete. Natural athletes can be totally competitive and totally strong and muscular, and I just think that everyone always says, oh, it's cheating, it's cheating. It's just I think that people don't understand, and they don't take into consideration, like you said, all across the board athletes use performance enhancing drugs, right? So even women across the board, it's just bodybuilding is strictly about muscles and symmetry and watching people compete on stage for their bodies, and it's not you don't see the actual work of the sport, the behind the scenes, and how much people are putting into it. And I think that just because people only see the finished product, the package on stage, they don't really realize how hard the work is behind the scenes.
Yeah, because if it was easy, everybody would do it. Some people think like, okay, I pop a few weights up a bodybuilder. No, you have to follow consistency, diet,
Yes.
working out. You have to, just work out. Just okay, I got to work my back, my quads, my glute, this and that. You have to. Everything has to work together.
Yeah.
And you have to follow guidelines, and you have to follow, like I said, steroids is only like a small fraction of it. It's everything else. What you eat. Sometimes you just can't eat everything. You have to eat stuff that helps in your development, like eat clean, as often some competitors say. You can't just go and eat a burger and fries. You might have that after your last show, but it's about following just consistency and what diet and plans you have set. Because you're a trainer and a coach.
Yeah.
And folks, we're gonna, she has a page. She has a website, and it's called uh, MILF Fitness. And MILF made step fitness, and we like that name MILF. you know, hmm?
So yeah, I started that, let's see, back in September because people kept asking me, when I was going to start, training and coaching folks. And so I went ahead and I created my own website and I started working with girls. And now I'm opening up to working with men as well. Ultimately, I would love to start coaching athletes to compete. I really feel like that's something that would bring me a lot of joy. And I can really, I don't know, see myself getting super excited to watch somebody else work hard and, go after their dreams. That's that at the end of the day, like it doesn't matter what responsibilities you have. You put all your responsibilities first. You take care of your kids, you take care of your family. But at the end of the day, there has to be something for you as well. And for me, this was my something. So, I put my extra time into my sport. And now I want to give back because over the years I've learned so much. Um, nutrition wise, exercise and lifting wise in the gym. And, it's cool. The girls that I'm working with right now, we've been working together for 6 months and watching their bodies transform has been just such a wild ride for me. It's been really cool to watch. And like I said, it brings me so much joy and I get real excited about it.
Yeah. So, folks, I'm going to put her website in description. So, if you're generally interested and reaching out, and maybe she can work with you on, you don't have to be a competitor. You just want maybe to lose a few pounds, get in condition, because it won't be long. Summer's just around the corner, and you want to get that beach bod, or just reach out to her, be genuinely interested. But like I said, my rule, folks. We got a man here, Rolando G. He says sometimes when female bodybuilders have those OnlyFans, it goes to their head in some ways. It's great for the fantasy. I'm a guy who gets sometimes the diva ego when ladies it can go haywire. I get it for extra income. Yeah, yeah, I understand that fact. And also he says, Jessica, I hope I can be able to train more. Your bodybuilding program looks like I could start. I want a good muscle definition. Yeah, that's good. And what would you say to anybody who comes to approach you? Say, especially if you're one of your neighbors saying Jennifer, Jessica, sorry. I'm thinking about getting shape. What? How do I start? What can you tell me? I mean, I'm just I'm curious, and I don't want to get too buff like you. I just want to get toned.
Well, first of all, I say, listen, you're not going to get the big muscles because I have to eat so much to build this muscle. I have to work so specific, to build certain areas. Like the programs that I create are for lifestyle fitness. Before I started bodybuilding, I got back in really great shape after kind of, I don't know, just gaining weight and, letting myself go a little bit. I got back into really great shape at 40 years old. So older, more mature. And I figured out a way that worked for me as an older woman to get the weight down and to make it so it's not that hard. So I wasn't doing hours and hours of cardio. I was weight training and doing HIIT cardio. And so what I do for my girls right now, and of course, guys are welcome. I'm just saying, because I started this program targeting older women, mothers, things like that. Mothers into lifelong fitness is what MILF is supposed to stand for. But I basically, every week I give meal plans, provide, different recipes and things like that within macros. And then I change up their workouts every week. And so, basically it's kind of something that I keep fresh every week. There's variety, but I'm also a drill sergeant. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, I'm not gonna blow smoke. I'm gonna tell you like it is. I'm gonna motivate and encourage you. And you are gonna get results, because your results are as important to me as they are to you, because this is something that I'm only doing because I enjoy it and I love it, because I also, I have a career. So this is something that I do extra because it is something that brings me joy. And we're not going to waste my time or your time. It's definitely something that is going to work. It works. This plan is working for everyone that I'm working with right now, and it's very cool.
Yeah, because with that IB, now with that IB Pro, Monica stick to you. Now it's big time. Because I know I have a friend. She also trains and coaches. She decided to take a step back from the sport for a good while, but she said, you know what, she's not retiring because she wants to keep up with her IB Pro card. Now you get your Pro card. That's also something you got to pay for, because I think it's like 250 a year.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like I talk about this quite often on my channel. I think one thing y'all competitors should do, y'all should have, is more benefits, more things out of the sport. As you know, when you hit as an amateur, you're still you're still coming up. It costs you more because you have to pay for interest fee. Even when you hit the pro level, if you do master show, you have to get interest fees and stuff like that. But what should happen is, since y'all the product, you're the people we come see. No one comes see guys like Jim Mannion or come see Tim Gardner or come see Jake Wood. We come see you. And I think it should happen is that you should have benefits. Like, okay, like if you get sick, so okay, I got my health insurance. If you got to go do blood work, hey, I got that. If something happens to you, you don't have to go do a GoFundMe like they did with a couple of other people I follow when they passed away. Where I have life insurance. Then when I say, you know what, I'm done with the sport. Like I got a friend, he's a bodybuilder, he's a pro. He used to play football back in the day, and when he retired, he got pension. He had a pension. He had money that was given to him because he played all those years. He played like 6-7 years in the NFL,
Right.
and he has a pension. And that's what happens because I think one thing, if there's a union in bodybuilding, everybody comes together, and hey, we fight for these things, these benefits, these rights. But the fact is, too many people are worried more about their short-term money than their long-term money.
Right. Well, I'd like to comment on this. So, I think that it's important to say that, once an athlete wins their pro card, it's really easy to say, I turn pro. So technically it sounds like I'm a professional athlete, and I've made this mistake before too, because, it feels interchangeable. But at the end of the day, you're not really a professional athlete unless you're getting paid for it, right? Unless you're getting a salary. So being a bodybuilding pro doesn't necessarily mean you're a professional bodybuilder. And I think that could change. I think that, like you're saying, there could be, more opportunities for people in the industry, so that, we don't have to work real jobs, or, we don't have to do GoFundMes or whatever. Like, I would love to be able to pour all of my energy and time into my training and lifting and cardio, because there's so many hours that go into that. I could be a better athlete, to be honest. I could be a much better athlete if I had more time just to focus on the sport itself and the work.
Mm-hmm. And the thing is, like, I think one thing that helps is the sponsorship. It's it's a
Yeah.
lot harder for, I think, divisions like women's bodybuilding and physique, because most sponsors don't want to back women who are just too muscular. It's easier for maybe bikini, wellness, some figure girls. But what things I think why I like to see happen is people generally who follow you ladies. I know there's a lot of guys, you follow these ladies and you spend money on sessions, but hey, why about do this? Take that money you put into the sessions and put it towards an athlete. And I know some ladies, I've talked about this, how some guys would reach out, but then be the weird guy saying like, "Hey Jessica, you're kind of cute. You got some pictures you can see me." No,
No,
stop that.
if, if if you come at me like that, you're not going to hear back from me. I'm just gonna, keep moving on. But yeah.
Yeah, we need the guys come and say, "Mrs. Coleman, My name is such and such, such, such. I see you growing yourself as an athlete. I want to sponsor you. I want to support you. If you need something from me, not a problem. All I want for you is to progress as an athlete, your next level. Like I say, if you need, like, okay, we'll pay for your expenses, like you got travel, we got you.
Yeah.
If you need, we can give you like a per diem, like if you need to buy a posing suit, we got you. That's what we need to see.
I
I
love
know.
and it would really make it would take so much pressure off. I mean, even George, even just the posing, you're paying for coaches. You have I have to have a coach. People coach themselves. I'm not one of those girls. So I have a coach who I love to pieces. But then you have to have posing coaching. There are so many aspects of it that financially are it's expensive, and you want to have bring quality. So you want to have the best posing, you want to have the best suit, you want to have your hair and makeup look amazing. And so stuff like that is really goes into me budgeting and planning for the next show. Like I gotta say, okay, I'm getting ready to send my oldest daughter off to college, right? That's going to be really expensive. So which which is my priority? Putting my daughter in college, right? So the sport for me it has to align with my lifestyle and my budget. So I think that that's important to mention as well.
Yeah, like I said, your children is more important than a show, and I think you should focus that. But I think some competitors, what they do sometimes, they take a year or two off to stack their chips, so they can have, okay, if start prepping something for the prep. I know some ladies who have full time jobs,
Yeah.
and try to do what they do. Also, I know the ladies who do also do the, as I said again, the meet websites to make the little income they can. But it's just like I said again. I think most definitely, like one thing we look at, if we go to the pro level, as you know, look at the men, they walk away. You do a show, a guy can walk away with $30,000.
Yeah.
Woman, a female body might walk away with $3,000. That's just unfair pay disbursement.
And
I understand that the guys aren't.
it just covers, everything doesn't might not even cover how much you're spending going into the show. So a lot of it is, achieving your goals and, you know, achieving greatness and the glory for the sport. That's more, that is what the driving force is. I will say this too, George, you talked about sponsorships. And I think that what I've noticed in the sport is that sponsors are attracted to the younger athletes, um, versus, the mature ladies. Like, nobody, I don't know. I have to be really careful how I say this. I just see that, a lot of sponsors go after the younger generation, and that's just the reality of it. And I understand that as well. But you know, there's something about the older women that we really work hard too, and we're managing and juggling so many different things, motherhood and so forth. That that gets that's a little disappointing sometimes.
I think people forget that fact is, these young girls, they have a mindset. They like young generation, they want things hot and ready, you know.
Right.
And with older people, like I said, myself, there's nothing a young girl can do for me. Hey, show me to an older woman. If your mama looks good, I want to talk to her. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to feel like R. Kelly. That's not my thing. I like a woman who's, who got herself together, who realizes that she's a woman who's settled. Sometimes young girls, they don't have their minds right. But the thing is, these guys, they're kind of like guys who are in prison. We see that fresh new prisoner come in. Like I remember this one time I was watching this thing. It was a scarce straight thing. This guy's talking like how, say, what the next best thing is to a woman is you young boys. They come in here, don't got that much hair on them. Like, oh hell no. There's no such thing as a next best thing to a woman to me. Or you'd be like the guy, be like the booty warrior. You ever saw the series, the Boondocks, the guy, the booty warrior, saying most important thing in here is like, booty is like water. It's more important than, you see a man's butt. But, it's just, they got to understand that these, they had the mindset they want to groom these girls or these competitors, and they want to see them like say, but they'd be like, what, Jessica, I don't know, yeah, Jessica, but work our demographic, I
And
don't know.
then longevity wise too, you got to think about, you know, athletes that are just getting started at a very young age, they're going to have a lot of longevity. So their careers are going to be long, right? They've got all kinds of great things in store for them in the future. But they also don't have children, or you know what I mean? So there's just, I think that in life in general, I don't think that it's just in a sport. I think that, people want to see the younger, athletes, like you said, groom them, but also there's just, there are a lot more folks that follow these athletes, like young folks, like teenagers. And my daughter pointed out this one girl, this local girl here, who I hadn't even known until my high school daughter, high school daughter, you say, oh my gosh, I recognize that girl from TikTok. She's got a huge following, blah 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 blah. Well, that's my, high school kids are following these young adults. And I get a lot of um I do get, a lot of attention from younger people, mostly teenage guys, because they are so impressed with building muscle. It's not even like a flirty thing. It's more of, I mean, it seems like they're asking for help in the gym. And that always feels really, I don't know, I'm flattered by that, because they're coming to me for advice, as opposed to, some other guy at the gym. So I get some respect, for sure.
Well, how it's like, the young guys, they like a woman a little bit. They go after young girls, but they like women, like, especially if you're an attractive woman. And then, they like to say, wow, that's Miss Jessica over there. I want to talk to her a little bit. I'm kind of, like, I don't know. It's just, I think, with the thing about bodybuilding, as I said before earlier, how the fan base is mostly, for the men, it's going to majority, is mostly going to be mostly men who are fan of guys of bodybuilding, guys who are come say, come sa, and are good about the women. But women, I think the bigger fan base is mostly us guys, because we're impressed by y'all. Yes, we find y'all attractive. Yes, we find just about the changing of how you ladies you change your muscle, your bodies, and your muscles, and we just get aroused by it. We just get excited when y'all see you're on stage, and you're oiled up and you're pumped up, and this is something I remember. I used to be on this it was a chat room. It was guys who were fans of bodybuilders, women's bodybuilding. There's one guy he used to go to. He used to be in sales, and so often what he does, like when we had to go on a sales and trip like that, he'll figure out when they're gonna have a show. So if it's a certain place where they're gonna have a show, okay, he'll time it along with his travels. He went to a show about this was like a few years ago, and he was sitting in the show. He was like, I think it was at the finals for, I think it was the finals for women's bodybuilding division. And he's sitting in the audience. He's watching the show. He's enjoying himself. Next thing you know, he hears a commotion. It's like, what's that? He turns around and you see this guy getting drugged out by security with his pants down.
Oh
Now, yeah, he's sitting right maybe a couple of seats from one of the trainers of one of the women, saying like, yeah, that guy, he comes about every other time. I'm surprised they hadn't banned him from coming in here. But like I said, that's the extreme part of it. But as the fact of it, we guys who genuinely like you and who respect you as athletes, as women, we support you. We got some people that's coming in right here. We got Metro, is it Metro Gaming YT? Jessica is a very strong woman. Shout out to him. Also, my man God's Will coming through here. Hi, Jessica. My name is God's Will. And, he's one of my followers and subscribers. I appreciate that. But we have to understand that, again, you're an athlete, you're a woman.
Yeah.
Yes, like some of the ladies, what they do is to make the income for them. Like they do after shows, they do the photo sessions because it's a way to make a little money, a little change in their pocket. And but I would think like this: that thing needs to change. I mean, one problem is that if more mainstream companies would, put money to bodybuilding, I think, I know, I remember a while back when they was trying to do Rise in Phoenix, Jake Wood couldn't barely find any promoters because, as you know, the Rise in Phoenix in Arizona Pro is an all ladies show. No banana hammocks, no board shorts. It's exclusively you ladies. But as you know, no one's going to throw money to a show where there's no guys to it. And, that's the hard part about that.
Yeah, and then you got the shows that don't have all of the women's divisions. So you've got primarily bikini girls because those divisions are so big, right? And then, I think at the Arnold this year, they didn't have figure and they had physique this year. And last year they had figure, not physique. And, I think that gets a little frustrating too because it limits the amount of shows that they have for certain divisions. Whereas, the bigger divisions like bikini, and I mean wellness, I guess wellness is growing a lot, but bikini is like a massive, and there's a lot of people that come to watch it, so that's a moneymaker. So I feel like, I don't know, I feel like kind of like the bigger you get as a female in the sport, the less popular, which is, I don't know, it's not the case with everybody, but it seems to be the trend. And I kind of wanted to make this comment too. Something that I've noticed, um, since I started bodybuilding is how much the way that the new female divisions are introduced into the sport, it changes so quick and drastically over the years because they brought in wellness. The wellness division came in as like a step between bikini and figure. The idea was to attract a more fitness level female that had a little more body fat. There was a softer shape to it, muscularity, legs and things like that, but it wasn't all focused on big legs and glutes and hams. And now there's still like zero body fat on the wellness girls, but originally when it came out, I remember, because I was thinking about doing it at the time, I'm like, okay, so a little bit more body fat, a little bit of a more fitness type of physique, but that changed immediately. Every division just changes, and it based on, I guess, people's what people like.
Yeah, 'cause I think if you look at some aspects of the wellness, some of those girls got bigger legs than most women in bodybuilding physique.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's about the glutes and the quads and everything else, and about the booty. And bikini, as you know, it's a popular division because within some women can say, you know what, I can strive for that because that's I can be that within that next level. But you know, as you grow and develop as an athlete, especially where you train or where you diet, you change. You can't, like I said, like we were talking about how the other night, how it's hard just to keep yourself in this box,
Yeah.
and then as you see you develop and growing, and then they're going to punish you, say, okay, we're not going to, support you as much as, as you talk about the shows that, recently you just had last week we had the Arnold Schwarzenegger Classic. I as a kid, I was a big fan of Arnold. I love
Oh,
Arnold,
that's,
the Terminator.
I love
Arnold.
it so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember when we were kids used to watch Conan the Barbarian. Used to sell it like Saturday mornings, or you show like they used to have this thing where they show aluminum siding with commercials, and they had Conan and Conan, Good, Bad, and Ugly, and I think it was a couple other movies, and then ever since I started this content on bodybuilding, and the people I've been interviewed with, people I've talked to, and telling me stuff that, hey, Arnold's a real jackass, and and he done this like it was almost 10 years ago, after the 2013 when he decided to walk quietly behind female bodybuilding and step in the heart. And then 2, 3 years ago, he does it again with Physique. And last year, he did it with Figure. And I remember I was watching a video. It was like, it was a backstage video. And I'm looking at people like Jessica Padilla, Missy Trescott, Erica Deer, An Jong. And those women, if you wouldn't think they were fitness and figure, you would think they were physique, how well developed they are.
Yeah. And the dryness and the conditioning. I mean, if you look at the regional competitors, they're definitely not as developed and shredded. I mean, these figure pros can get shredded, and they fill out, for the show and everything. But looking at them in prep, getting ready to go on stage, they get ripped, and I love it. I love watching it. I think it's great. But I think that at a regional level, I see the background.
Yeah,
At the
yeah,
regional level, and it's pretty typical because at the regional level, everyone's just getting started, but the physiques look so different. Um, so I don't know, but improvement season's an improvement season, and you take time to keep building, and you're not building to not get bigger. So
Yeah, we got here. Derek Bailey comes through. He says salute to all the ways yours page. Appreciate that too, brother. And yeah, it's about the process of
yeah,
developing as an athlete, as and everybody's gonna look at the, as I call them, the TNA divisions. And and don't mind him, that's my brother. And and the those divisions, as wellness and bikini are going to get attention because the fact is they fit to the reality of what people want to see. They like to see the women in good condition, but they don't want to see the women like huge and shredded. Now, as I say, you was at the Olympia,
yeah,
and you got to see it up close. The Olympia is one of the biggest shows around. I think it's Super Bowl of bodybuilding, and and we were talking about one person who's really truthfully who sits on top on high in women's bodybuilding as Andrea Shaw. I mean,
gosh, I just got goosebumps when you said her name. I sat there and watched Andrea Shaw on stage, and I'm a big fan of all of the bodybuilding competitors. Teresa Ivancic, she's beautiful. A lot of those women, but when Andrea Shaw did her finals routine, I could not take my eyes off her. Literally, I felt like my jaw was on the floor because she was the most beautiful athlete I saw at that competition at the Olympia. And I walked away. Now, I was surprised. I was surprised at how flawlessly beautiful she was. And just, she lit up the whole place. And, I walked out just a huge fan. She's so beautiful.
yeah, because I talk about Andrea. I think she's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, I just I I got the pleasure of seeing her live when I went to Savannah last year. She was
Hmm.
guest posters, her, her and Mona Persolet. And I got to see her, like I said, I thought in my life I'd never get to see Andrea. And I got to meet people like Donna Salib and also Linda Murray was there. She smiled at me. She was sitting at the front with the judges and stuff, and she smiled at me. And I took that picture, and I took a picture with Alina Popa. I mean, when and to be there and meet women like that. But Andrea, like I said again, she is just amazing. Like I mean, I'm sipping over Andrea. I'm gonna put this over here quick, folks.
Right. Me
Yeah,
too.
I'm sipping on man. I will real quick picture of some Andrea pictures I just pulled up,
Oh my
and
goodness.
I mean, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
she's just a beautiful woman. I mean, people might say like she got too much muscles, and but this is her right here backstage. She's taking a little drink. She's just, I mean, she has a great personality about herself. She
Yeah.
carries herself well, and she's a true ambassador who wins bodybuilding. I like this one right here where she's just sitting, like she's sitting and just looking in the camera and like, oh my god,
Gorgeous.
she makes me want to fall in love.
I know.
Yeah,
And
I mean,
she commands the stage when she walks out. Her presence is just, um, I don't know, like it's undescribable because she walks out there and you can't take your eyes off of her. And she's the queen of female bodybuilding. And I don't know, like anyone that doesn't think female bodybuilders are beautiful needs to take a
yeah,
look a
yeah.
little deeper.
This is like I said, this is a beautiful woman. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm just right now. I'm just, oh God. I just, she's the woman that calls dreams. You wake up and say, I had a wet dream by Andrea Shaw. But it's just, I feel like I say there are some beautiful women in the sport,
yes,
and there's some women who are a little bit, as some women do take the a little bit extremes when it comes to pads and other stuff like that, and it is kind of transform. But if some women like Andrea, who can maintain her, not just a good amount of muscle development and also femininity, you
yes.
know, that's just she's just amazing. I mean, I got credit like that. We got here, Derek Bailey saying, yeah, she is attractive. Yeah, she is. And also Derek says, she has won 3 or 4 years in a row. Actually, three, but this year might be a fourth because I know I'm talking to some people say, some people saying like, like Andrea Y'all look pretty good. Yeah, I like Andrea Y'all. She looked pretty good,
Me too. Yeah,
but
she's amazing.
no one's gonna be Andrea. I mean, No one. I mean, I was one time we were doing live stream. I was talking with somebody, and when they're saying they're dropping names, and I say, dude, she's not gonna. She has no legs. She's attractive. She has great shape. This is another competitor we're talking about, but she's not gonna be Andrea. Andrea is a tough nut to crack.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually had conversations with other pros, more seasoned pros that have been in the game for a while, and they just said, as long as Andrea's in the game, she's never going to lose.
Mhm.
So it's going to be basically one of those situations where she's done.
Yeah.
But one thing that I saw that I'm real excited about, George, is that it looks like Andrea Whitney Jones and
Sydney Gillen.
Natalia Coelho and
Sydney Gillen.
yeah, Sydney. They're
Mhm.
putting together a show that's going to be held next April in Arizona, which I think is the coolest thing ever. I forget what they're calling themselves now, like
I think either the triad or triumphant or something like that. I think because as Whitney Jones has been a twice Miss Olympia fitness winner.
yeah,
Sid, she's like 6-time figure champion in Olympia. She might even she's not too far. Maybe she might break. People might think even though it's a different division, figure is
yeah,
still women's bodybuilding. She might break Iris Kyle's record with the most wins, especially consecutively. She's not too far from Linda Murray, and she's already tied with Corey Everson with most consecutive wins as a figure competitor in Miss Olympia, in Olympia. But she's on her way to breaking Iris's record. All she needs is like 5 more wins. And if she can do it consecutively, that's a record. She can surpass Iris Kyle. And same thing with Andrea. She can possibly surpass Iris Kyle. And then you look at someone like I talk about Missy Trescott. She has a couple of wins, and you see how like I said again, how divisions are starting those blurred lines. I just saw pictures of Erica Deer from the Arnold, and I'm looking at Missy from the Olympia. And if if you like this, those girls, if they take off their high heels, they could pop over in physique. But someone said how the aesthetics and also the look is totally different. But they have to really maybe bring a little more size, and the condition is good, but it's about bringing a little more size. They have to, as back when I started this, being a bodybuilding fan, when we created the physique division, I wasn't a big fan. I called it more like the watered down version of women's bodybuilding.
yeah,
But doing content and doing interviews with ladies in your division and talking to each ladies, I really have come across to it. Like, and even with figure, I wasn't a big fan of figure either because I saw like it was more like bikini girls with a little bit more muscle. But as I said again, those three divisions are getting that stink eye. As you said again, Arnold dropped all three of them from the show. I will be long. Maybe he might drop fitness eventually. It just be the two TNA divisions that the guys who like to see. And things also, the big thing is it's the judging. The judges, they are the ones who have so much control. I've done interviews with ladies said they did a show. A judge told them, saying, you know what, you might need to go up. But then when you do a show, you might see one show and one girl who she's not even got great condition. I've seen shows where one girl's not that great condition, but she wins. But then you do the show next on, the girl who's in better condition wins. It just keeps changing up.
yeah. It just depends on the day and who's in the judge's seat. um and it's really an interesting thing because it it can be anybody's game depending on how you come in, how you peak, and how you show up on stage. The judges only see what they see on stage. They don't know what's in the background, like what you're doing in the background. Like they judge based on what they see. And I'm sure that there's some bias based on previous winners from other years, but they're also amazing athletes that win all the time.
Yeah, we got
Sure.
here. Gaming YT saying he has a question. He asks, "Is she is Ronnie Coleman's sister?"
He's
Dude, I mean,
my uncle. He's my uncle.
Yeah, that's her uncle on her
Excuse-
daddy's side of the family.
uh, that was good.
Yeah, she's. I know people ask. I mean, there's no such thing as stupid questions, but sometimes those questions are. But I can say this. You know, we talk about Whitney and what Andrew doing, Cindy doing, and you remember how you know Sarah, how she's stepping up. I know she wanted to throw in $20,000 for Women's Physique for the Arnold, but I don't know why they didn't take it. But she's been doing some good work. I mean, she put $20,000 at the Pittsburgh, and that was to to Natalie, which won that show. So and then turn around and beat her at Olympia. Then she put $15,000 at the Texas Pro, and where Melissa Tyke won. I remember I posted that. I talked about her. So I said, congratulations. I appreciate how she's doing. I'm not a big Sarah Fergus fan. I think she's a great person, but not a big fan as per se. But I had one person say she shouldn't be doing that. But the fact is, she has the money, she has the means, she has the returnsman. If you got to think about it, if it can't be people inside of the community to do it, you can't expect people outside to do it. It has, it's truthfully has to be people from within.
Right. Well, and I think that is the coolest thing ever. I mean, the fact that she loves the sport so much that she is willing to, sponsor and donate. Like, I don't know. That makes me respect her that much more. And I am a fan. I think she's phenomenal. She's a phenomenal athlete. And, you look at all of these women are just, I don't know, like they're the best in the world. They're the best in the world. And to pick them apart for any reason whatsoever, it just seems crazy because they're all just, I don't know, like fantastic. And that's why they're there.
Yeah, because like I said, she's doing some good works. I mean, I know from what I saw from some videos, she wasn't too happy when she lost to Natalie.
No, no, and that must have been really hard. I mean, that was kind of a shocking moment because I was there and I watched the finals, and it happens, right?
Mm.
And Brooke Walker comes in third, and she's incredible. Like these athletes are just, you look at them, and I would not want to be a judge when these girls get on stage. I would.
Yeah, because I think me personally, I think Brooke would have been a better Miss Olympic because she has the more aesthetic. She has that girl next door look. Nothing. Like I said, Natalia. Not that. And I think Sarah, but Brooke has a very attractive. I know you met her because she was training Ginger.
Yes.
And you met her at Junior Nationals, and she has a great personality. She's on YouTube. She's on social media. That's the thing about if you keep yourself busy on social media, that really helps out.
Definitely.
Yeah, I remember I was talking.
I mean, keeping up with the social media part is hard to do. It's time consuming. I'm not very good at it because I'm just.
You got teenagers.
Yeah, so busy. But I wish I could be more present. But Brooke is really a kind person, and she was the one that gave me my trophy at Junior USA's. So I got to take a couple pictures with her. She's great.
Yeah, that's great. We got here.
I'm a big fan of her physique. I really think that, honestly, I think all the top 3, all the top 10 are they're amazing.
Yeah, because I got to interview Barbara Majan about last month, and she's a great lady, beautiful physique, a woman who's like yourself, who's a single mom, who's a woman mature. I mean, she's been a gatekeeper at 4th place for the last 3 shows. And I told her what do you need to change and evolve. She said she'll know. She comes in great condition, but she's not cracking. As at the Olympia, it's no longer for the last 2 years. She was top 5 competitors to get the qualification, and now they was a couple of years ago they changed it to top 3, and now you don't have the points qualifications. You have to win the show. As they're having the Olympia Masters. That's coming up in August, and if you compete in that show, you have to get your put in invitation, because the invitation ends in April. So if you want to put an invitation in, you have to put it in. You have to send all information. I'll send it to you later if you're interested. I know like I'll talk about when you make your pro debut, but just give you an opportunity. You want to share that later, but that show is going to be Olympic qualification now. And for women's bodybuilding, it's show few shows. With physique, you at least have a few, but then you look over at the other divisions like bikini and men's physique. And there's some shows that only have one division. You might have one show where just have women's bikini. You might have one show that have wellness, and you have one show that just have men's open or men's classic. But it's just that, like I said again, I think all divisions need to be represented fairly. I know it's about money, most definitely for these promoters, and it's about trying to get people interested. I mean, I know I was talking with Gina Carvalho, how she said that if more people come out there and support women's bodybuilding, I mean, buy a ticket, come to the show, or
Yeah.
buy the live stream. I mean, that really helps out. We got here Derek Bailey saying, why doesn't they pay go up for women's competitors? Ask Jessica her opinion. And I think we already talked about that. I think earlier how that most time it's about what the promoters and the sponsors feel. They're gonna give them more money to the men's division, because the fact is the men's are the bread and butter of bodybuilding. Even though that I think there's more divisions with y'all ladies, because you have women's bodybuilding, you have physique, figure, fitness, bikini, and wellness. But because, as I said again, the men are the bottom bitches, and
Yeah.
the promoters will throw money at that than at the women.
Yeah, and I think that it's also popularity of spectators, right? And so, I think that the money makers are the men, the big guys, right?
You guys.
I want to see those huge guys, because that's like it's such an impossible you know place to be, like that very top level. These guys are incredible. They're huge. They lift weights. Like, I feel like four of me could sit on top of, some of their weights sometimes, looking at how much weight they're lifting. I mean, literally just dumbbell pressing my weight on each side. And I'm like, this is crazy. So yeah, I mean, people want to see that. And it's really supply and demand. That's what it is. Bottom line. And, the popularity needs to grow in the as spectators, I think.
Yeah, 'cause like I said, as you know, with your fan base is mostly generally us guys. With the men's divisions, it's mostly a mix of guys who are fans of bodybuilding, guys who are, say, come sa, and also a good amount of women. But I would say like this, and this is what I'm going to talk to the guys out there. I know there's a lot of guys who undercover fans, who are guys who are into these ladies. Don't be afraid to admit that. Okay, I know people go say like, okay, if you say I like female bodybuilders, people say, hey, you gay? Say, wait a minute, how can I be gay? This is,
Yeah.
I'm saying you talk to an attractive woman. I mean, it's one thing if I had a hard on for, Blessing. That brother's crazy. He did a video where he's sitting in a bathtub full of vegetables and saying be a vegan bodybuilder, and yeah, I have a man crush on Vin Diesel. That's a different situation. But
Vin Diesel's great. And then there's The Rock.
The Rock, yeah. I used to be a big fan of Arnold Schwarzenegger, but Arnold's an asshole. But I mean, one of my favorite movies is the first Fast and the Furious, when he says, being a yard or a mile, a win's a win. I mean, now he's got 10 coming out. John Cena, he's in it. He's going to play one of the good guys now. I mean, he converts everybody. He's family.
Yeah.
Family. But like I said, I think what it is about is about. I remember as a kid growing up watching cartoons like He-Man and Thundercats. And, you see those big muscle guys. I mean, that's what we like. We like it's like Superman. And we see guys with muscles as heroes. But women, it's just not the same. You don't get that same. Like I know I had a friend. She said that at one point she was offered opportunity maybe to try out for Wonder Woman, but she was told, excuse me for a second, I got somebody here. Just talk amongst the people, and I'll be right back.
And he didn't mention there are female superheroes too. I don't. George didn't talk about them.
You could have kept on talking before I got back here. You know, you don't want to leave dead
It
space.
felt like I was talking to nobody.
Yeah.
So
Well, you could just talk because we have people here. We got like about 8, 9 people in here in the comment section. Some people going in and out. But like I say, as long as you talk to them, they be happy because you know what? When guys like I said like this, whenever we get these guys who come in here and you get a new chick on there, they say Joe's got a new girl on here. She's fine as a motherfucker, and you know, and they get excited. You know, like I had one time I had done I was doing an interview. I couldn't keep up with the comments because you know these guys be like, "Wow, man, who's this girl? Who's that?" They be asking questions because, like I said, this is why I do this.
yeah,
This is why I give you ladies the opportunity to share your voice. I know one lady told me said she's kind of shy about doing it, and she said she did it. So, you know, she said really get yourself out there to promote yourself because you know what, you know, one thing I was talking about with somebody a while back said one thing what bodybuilding needs is more promotion. You know, like people like Andrea Shaw or Chelsea Dion or Brooke Walker or Natalia. You know, can you know if they can get some kind of like press agent and try to do like the mainstream stuff, like reach out to like these news corporations, like maybe like you know like go on like you know Good Morning America or Today's Show or
yeah,
even you know anything to give these ladies opportunities to give yourself a voice. I mean that would be something good.
yeah. I agree, and I think that I don't know how you could make it more appealing to audiences, but you could take it in a different direction too. I'm starting to see more female characters in movies that are jacked. And I love seeing that. Because the male actors, they get jacked for their superhero roles, and now you're starting to see more athletic women and shows like you talked about the Wonder Woman movie. um, there are a lot of athletes that they cast as extras in a lot of those scenes, like popular athletes like Jesse Groff. And I was reading up. There's a few athletes.
Brooke Enos was in it too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're legit athletes. It's not AI, right? They're muscular and they're big.
Yeah, because I remember one lady was in there was a boxer I used to be a fan of. That was Anne Brown Sugar Wolf. She played Artemis, and like about 10 over 10 years ago, Anne knocked out this woman Vonda Ward first minutes in the first round of a boxing match. And she also wanted to call out fight Layla Ali a few years ago, but that never happened. And remember a few years ago when at least Linda Hamilton did Terminator 2, how Jack she got, you know,
Yeah,
because remember she was doing that show, Beauty and the Beast, and she left the show because she wanted to focus on the movie, and she got Jack. Or you remember TV shows like American Gladiators with, as you mentioned, Tanya Knight and Ray Holett and Shady Beatty, and and I remember a few years ago, Denise Wachowski was going to try out for that show. I remember she was trying out for that show a few years ago when after she competed at last Olympia. But like I say, yeah, I think as fans you want to see that, but you know Hollywood they don't like to see women too muscular. They want to see how walk that little fine line of
it just
you
start
know
Hollywood. I think if Hollywood were to start, showcasing more actresses with very muscular physiques, especially in these superhero roles, I think that would really help the sport a lot. Instead of taking a small actress who, is fit and then get her here yoked and jacked for a role, find somebody that's already there and turn them into an actor. I think that would be nice. Sorry about my dog.
that's all right. Sorry about the knock at the door.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, we said that. We got my man here, Gaming YT, saying another funny question. Jessica can lift a car. She's a very strong woman. Yeah, I don't know if she can check a car or not. And my man Derek Bailey says, yeah, promotion is key, 100%. Yeah, and and he says also, yep, and it's no joke. That's the truth. And like I said, what I will, if I could do it, if I had the financial backing of it, I would love to do this. I would love to reach out to some ladies and say, you know what, I want to sponsor you or promote you or get you opportunities to get recognition. I would love to, like, say, reach out to women in the pro division, the amateur division. You know, like I said again, I know you guys out there who are schmoes, who like some guys are undercover schmoes. They're kind of the guy who date the ugly chick, but don't want to know that she's dating her. You know. But like, if you're a fan of these ladies, don't be shy about it. I know people gonna pick on you. Like, I remember one lady, she was telling me how she was dating this dude, and and he said, and then after a while, he started cheating on her with a transvestite, and because the fact it was that we was transitioning over to something else. But the fact is, that's not really a woman. That's a guy who's trying to be a woman. But
Right.
you are a woman. You're a woman who have kids. You have a passion for sport, and that's why on my channel my channel is dedicated to recognize you ladies. I do content on women's bodybuilding. I do content on women MMA. I used to work with women for a long time. I remember my first work job was a gas station, but then I used to work in textile company where I worked with women all day, and sometimes women sit down and feel comfortable, talk to us guys, and and just have conversations. And one of my other jobs was I used to work in a gentleman's club, or somebody called it a booty club. And sometimes I had guys come to me and say, "Man, you work in the strip club with all those girls, dude. Be had the clothes on or clothes off. Women are gonna be aggravated. If it's a good night for these girls, they'll make their money. Same thing with where I used to work with my old job. If the ladies making the production, they're making their money. It's about understanding that you women go through a lot. It's like I said, I took care of my mother for about 6 years. She was my woman. She took care of me. And when she got sick, I stepped up because, like I said, everybody else had their jobs, had their kids. I wasn't doing anything because I wasn't working, and she took care of me. And I felt like, as a man, I had to take care of my woman. And to say one of the quotes for a movie Psycho with Norman Bates, where he says, "A boy's best friend is his mother." And I'm always going to stand by a woman. Like I said, I'm a man, and I respect what a woman goes through. I can never understand what a woman is because what, as a man, we learn from other men, and women, you raise us, you can teach us stuff, but we become a man when we learn from other men. But you know what, a man should never be competition with a woman. Any guy who tries to be, you have sugar in your tank. You should never try to no man should try to make themselves sexier than a woman. No, you should never compete with that. Oh, we got here a man, Derek Bailey. Yeah, they could have chosen a better Wonder Woman, in my opinion. Well, I like Gal Gadot. I think she's a good actress. They could have cast somebody else. And he also says, how much does it cost to sponsor? Well, like I remember one lady who did an interview back. She's a pro. She got a pro card a couple of years ago. She told me like her last prep took her like $5,000 to $7,000. But you know what? If you're someone who's genuinely interested, like I said, her subscription. Like I said, you follow her on IG, also other social media subscription. If you're genuinely interested, reach out to her. Let her know if you want to sponsor her. But here's the thing: is guys, don't do this. No deep pics. Don't do this. Just be. This is a set again. Be a guy genuinely interested in sponsor a female bodybuilder. If you can do real small things like if you can if you feel like, hey, you know what, if she needs a new posing suit, or if she's gonna travel, and you say, you know what, you want to buy her a plane ticket or a bus ticket or something like that. Something that helps out. Or like I said, hey, something simple is like, okay, she might need some gas to go to the gym. If she has a PayPal, something like that, or GoFundMe. Those little things do help. We got here. This looks like a bot. I don't speak Russian, so I'm gonna, if any of my riches, get rid of him because he looks like it might be a bot. You gotta be careful with these bots up in here. I like I said, I don't speak Russian, dude. And I'm just gonna, for safety's sake, I think I'm just gonna time you out because I don't speak Russian. And there's a lot of these Russian things coming through. You gotta be careful. But also, we got here my man, gaming YT. Does Jessica has YouTube channel link? Are you
No
on YouTube?
YouTube right now, but probably when I start my next prep, I'll start up a YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's good. YouTube, I think YouTube, like I said, when I started my YouTube channel, it took me some time to start really growing and developing it. One thing is about people, like with my content, it focuses a lot on women's bodybuilding. I know I had some people reach out and say, do this, do that. Say, nah, that's not my thing. I'm a big fan of women's bodybuilding. That's why I talk about it. I'm also a big fan of women mixed martial arts. I got a friend. He was the one who inspired me to start doing this because I just was making little videos here and there. He said, "Hey, reach out to do interviews, stuff like that." Ever since I started this, I have grown on some friendship with some of these ladies in the sport. I was like I said before I did this interview with you. I called one lady who I've become friends with and wish her a happy birthday. I mean, I should have got here a little sooner, but we were talking a good bit. I said, "Oh, dang, I gotta get here quick because I don't want to miss my interview." But like I said, if you are someone out there,
George, I need to let my dog out real quick. I'll be right back.
okay, I'll talk for a bit while you go. Okay. So like I said, if you're someone genuinely interested in supporting an athlete and making their path into the next level, be interested. Show your support. Do things that really can help these ladies out. You know, and just like I said, simple things. Support them. Like let them know that you appreciate them. You know, it's tough for these women because you know what? It's a tough sport. It's a sport where there's not a lot of money in it, not as much profit, not as much recognition, unless you are in the high epsilon of the division, especially if you are in the men's division. As you know, the last Olympia, where Heidi Chopin walked away with $400,000, while people like Andrew Shaw or Natalie walk away less than that. I mean, but those are things that, as a fan, we need to do. We need to support these ladies. We need to, and also if you're somebody who has the financial means to help them out financially, that's gonna be good. But here's the thing is, guys, don't be that weird guy saying like, Jessica, I just saw your interview with George. You look kind of pretty to me, you got some pictures and stuff. No, she got kids.
Yes.
She's a respectful lady. Don't do that. Just be a person, like I said again. Be interested in athletes' progression in their path. Reach out to them. We got here my man YT saying, okay, thanks, Jessica. And also my man Derek Bailey. Was it Coach that told you to start a channel? Yeah, Coach Sharon Harrison. He is a dear friend of mine. He does a lot of stuff on MMA, especially women's MMA, and he inspired me to start doing this. But we appreciate that. Now, are you planning to compete this year, or are you gonna say take a step back and sit and develop and grow?
I had plans on competing this year. I was hoping to be further along in my improvement season, and I expected to be in prep right now for a show early in the summer, and that I just had setback after setback, almost like God telling me to slow my roll a little bit, right? And so the idea, I figured that I could start a prep this summer and compete at the end of the year. But now again, I have to have double hand surgery at the end of this month. So that's going to set me back some more. So basically what I'm thinking is I'm going to take care of myself, take care of my girls, get my oldest daughter off to college and then reevaluate the situation. But I'm definitely going to make my pro debut. I'm not, I thought I was running out of time because of my age, but I'm not, so I had to make peace with the idea that I'm not running out of time, and that somebody put it to me like this. He said, when an artist or a rock band comes out with a hit album, right? And then they rush into making a second album. The second album's never quite as good as the first. And he said, don't rush the second album. So I took that advice and I was like, you know what? I'm not going to rush the second album. If I am not in a place where I can work as hard as I did to earn my pro card, I have no business stepping on stage with those IFBB pro women's physique competitors. And I have so much respect for all the athletes, and I'm going to make sure that I bring everything I've got to the stage when I do. But right now, we'll see. I mean, it's going to happen when it happens, and I'm going to make sure I'm bringing an even better package to the pro stage than I did to the national stage.
Well, like I said, that's a good thing. You don't want to be half stepping. You want to be
Exactly.
make sure you're prepared. Like I said, and like I said, with your surgery and other stuff, the sports always going to be here.
Exactly.
I think competitors walk away because of medical issues. And then once they really get things settled. I know competitors who have turned pro 5, 10 years ago and made their pro debuts. I
Yeah.
mean, it's like I said, it's about the process. And if you feel like you're not ready, you want to feel like you take time, and really work on a few things. And also, like I said again, stack your chips.
Right.
You got a kid going to school. You got another one. You're still in school. I
Yes.
mean, your children is very important to you, and I think you should take care of that before anything else. They are the ones you should take care of first. And like I said, sports always going to be here. It's going to be here whenever you're ready.
Yeah.
There's no rush. Take your time. We got a man here. Derek Bailey. Hope you have a speedy recovery. Jessica, I don't say speedy recovery. No, don't ever say speedy recovery. Let things take their time and you let yourself heal. Say have a healthy and safe recovery. That's the thing that's more important. Speed is never, sometimes speed is good in some situations, but it's not always good. Some women don't want speed either. You don't want a guy, you don't want a minute man. But yeah, you don't want that guy. You don't want that.
The thing too about about this it's carpal tunnel. It's severe, and once I get it fixed, my strength in my hands is going to be so much better. I'm going to sleep better. There are going to be a lot of positives that come out of it. Like, right now I am kind of limited, when I train. So I'm really hoping that this is ultimately going to help me be better in the sport after
Yeah, I
after
got that. Yeah, because I work so many years with my hands. I have like a little, it's a carpet like one of my fingers here is it's kind of not okay, here's nothing anymore.
Yeah.
And also I got two bad knees like Stone Cold Steve Austin. Arthritis. Is, I got a while back was a couple weeks ago. I went to my orthopedics. I got to go back to him on Monday because I got to do some shots in my knees, and I have a spur right here in my left shoulder, tearing my right, and I have a pacemaker because of years of not being healthy, like that. But I remember I was like nearly 500 pounds, and after my mom passed, I took care of myself. Now I'm like at 410. I mean, it's a lot of hard work. I mean, eating healthy, and then sometimes temptation. You
I,
know, some things like
I ate way too much last night, but it's like food is delicious, you
it
know.
is delicious. Yeah, you're like, especially if it's sweet stuff. And I gotta be careful because my mother's diabetic, I got a sister diabetic.
Yeah,
Yeah, I gotta be careful with that. I try to cut back on my sweets, but sometimes be like, I'm not like Pookie New Jack City be calling me, man, be calling
yeah.
my name, man, be calling me. We got a man, Rolando G. He's saying, Jessica, where can we support your financially for your shows? Want to ask George. Well, like I said again, her social media stuff in the description. If you're genuinely interested, Rolando, or any of the guys out there, if you are genuinely interested in supporting Jessica, maybe for her upcoming season or whatever else, or just to help her out a little bit, you know, be genuine about your interests. Like I said again, I know a lot of you guys, we see ladies like her when you see her on stage and she's shredded, or just when she's just even when she's like right now, she's really nice and she looks nice right now. It's been I think North America's been I mean sorry the Junior USA has been like since almost a year ago, and
Yep.
she's been looking good shape. And I know like she wanted to really make her debut this year, but like I said again, take your time. Don't rush into it. Like I said, you talk about the album. Take your time and let yourself, enjoy life a little bit. Let yourself stew a little bit.
Yeah.
Do what you need to do to make those gains. Like I said, sports always be.
I'm not ready. Like, usually my off season is like killer. Like, I nail it by the time I get to, January, February. I'm ready to hit the ground running. And this time it just didn't happen. My body was just like, sorry, Jess, we're chilling right now. We're not doing anything more than this at the moment. So, I just sometimes, like I said, God sends you, he tells you when it's time to slow down for a minute. And I guess that's what I needed to do. But I still love the sport. I still training, 6 days a week. I'm doing cardio. I'm just you know, keeping it going. I'm not in prep. And
Yeah,
I'm eating, healthy. But I have my cheat meals on the weekends. So
So when you last competed at the junior say, I know what was that first meal you had when you got off a stage?
I wanted a burger. Oh wait, first of all, I had like donuts right, when I got off stage. I love donuts right after the show. And then I needed a burger and fries. I
Hmm.
need like that was not an option.
Yeah, I know one lady who I did an interview with back, who I got to meet in Savannah, Sheena Oley. She's a big donut fan. She loves donut. I remember I made her a package and I sent her some stuff in, and she said it was like I think it was like a thing of a big bag of Reese's cereal and some cookies. And she said, George, man, I really thank you for that because I was just really she this was maybe I think it was maybe the month after she did Chicago, and she really appreciated that. But
Yeah.
I say again, like this is a sport where I think really I'm a fan of, and I like to see you ladies get more respect and recognition. I mean, as we all know, you do the sport for the love of it. I know there's not a lot of money in it, but as long as you do love for it, that's good. But I think, as I said again, I think there should be more, benefits to it for y'all. I mean, you should, if you don't win a prize money, I think you should have maybe a little something for you say after the shows. I mean, maybe a little gift card or something like that to help you, a little wrong. I mean, you should get out of it as much as you put into it. The time you go into workouts, your diet, you know, all the stuff that you have to pay for between your suits. Some of those suits cost almost like a car note. The hair, your makeup, jewelry, everything. The money you put into it, you should just get some much of it back. And
Yeah.
as I said again, if there's somebody out there who's interested in sponsoring an athlete, be genuine in your interests. Be I know I talked to somebody who said they had guys reach out to them about stuff like that, but then they want some exchange for it. But no, it's not. The purpose of it is to see an athlete grow and to make those gains later on. And get out of here, get out of here, get out of here, get out of here. Now get out of here. Let them see how much we look alike. No, no, don't need to see you. No, we don't need to see you. Get out.
It's so
You know,
funny.
I'm his twin. No, no. He's my mama's pain in the ass. No, no. Go away. I, I need to leave by myself. It's hard tonight. Yeah, yes, I do.
I'm
And
about to have some disruptions myself. So um yeah.
yeah. My man, Derek Bailey says, exactly. I agree, George, and thank you, Derek, for
Okay.
supporting and agreeing. Get the hell out of here.
Well,
Yeah.
just showing up and doing things like this, George, this is really nice. I appreciate it. Just having a forum for us to talk and um feel respected, that's it's nice. So thank you very much.
Well, as I said again, I said before, one of my favorite movies is the whole Chris Nolan Batman trilogy, and there's a part at the end of Batman Begins when Jim Gordon turns around to Batman and says, "I forgot to thank you," and then Batman says, "You never have to, because I do this because this is my passion. You know, this is something like I said. After my mom passed, I didn't really have much. I don't have no kids, just me. Everybody else is grown and got their lives, and I find something as an outlet for me because I like to talk about this sport. As you know, I said again, I am much prefer smoke, but I've really grown from what I've learned from when talking with you ladies, from what I've seen, from friendships I've gained. We learn a lot, and that's why I want to give y'all a platform where you can come on here, share your stories, talk about yourselves, and really let people know that you are people, you are women, you
Yeah,
are athletes, you're
exactly.
you're a mother, you are a trainer, you're a coach. You have a passion for a sport that's not seen as a real sport. People gonna follow these mainstream athletes, football, baseball, basketball. Those guys get a lot more attention. But bodybuilding, it's been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think, like any sport, it should get most attention. I think it should be one thing I believe there should be unions it was in the sport. But thing is, more people are more worried about their short term money than long term money. This is my man Rolando G again. He says, "Sincerely, I am for it. You all see Jessica. I'll wait for the next season. You have my support, Jessica. Sincerely." And that's good, Rolando. If you generally reach out to her and let her know that you want to support her, like even you can start now. You can do something simple. Just little things here and there which can help
Yeah.
out.
Well,
We appreciate it.
especially when prep comes around, like that is, no, I appreciate that because it's a stressful time, right? You're just going through it. I enjoy the process, but the last thing I want to worry about is, having to budget and everything, especially, that Masters Olympia is,
Oh, we're in Romania.
no, I'm not going there
Yeah, 'cause it's funny.
for here.
When they started masters, they had masters years ago, but it was just for men's bodybuilding. But
Yeah,
now you have more divisions, and as you know, as I said it before, it's a Olympia qualification show. I said like this: why not have the show part of the main Olympic? You have the amateur show,
yeah,
then you have the master show, and you have the main show.
yeah.
It makes more sense. You
I
know,
I think what happened this past year is that there were so many athletes that the show was like really long. So they're probably trying to make it, you know, shorten the time.
because you cut out the points qualification.
Yeah,
And with women's bodybuilding, there's so few shows.
yeah,
But you look at the other divisions like men's open, men's and bikini. There's at least about 500,000 shows they got.
right.
And it's just it wouldn't hurt them if they cut the points qualification, but it does hurt. I think women's bodybuilding a little more, and also might hurt. Not too much physique because you do have a little bit more shows
Yeah,
compared to. Hmm?
but still, I think definitely it's going to affect some of the other divisions.
Yeah, you know. But folks, like I said, we do appreciate the lovely Miss Jessica Coleman for sitting here and sharing with us. I know it's Saturday. She just put the dog out. She got kids. They probably want to do something. Say, Mom, we want to go out. But as I said again, like this, and I'm going to reach out to people who watch my content, who follow me, who follow my channel. If you are someone who's genuinely interested in supporting the athlete, who want to see them grow and develop in their path, be sincere in your interests. Be the guy who want to say, you know what, Mrs. Coleman, I want to see you grow as an athlete. I want to see you hit your next level. Anything you need from me, let me know. I'm happy to help. Nothing else but that. Not this guy saying, you know, uh, you're very pretty, Jessica. And I just like pretty girls, and you complete me.
Oh my
So do me a favor,
God.
send me some pics or something like that. Something that makes me stranger. That's the other guy. I'm sorry. That's the other guy. I'm sorry.
That was funny.
Yeah, but as while we got you here, once you want to show a shout out to anybody, show appreciation, or let people know that hey, thank you for helping me get along this way.
Yeah, I mean, my coach Sebastian Alvarez has been really helpful. And as soon as we met, he was like, "You're turning pro." He did it. He got me. He helped me win my pro card, and so my coach. Now there are also friends that have helped me tremendously. Behind the scenes. My friend Chris Barnes, he's an IFBB pro, and he was the first person to say, Jess, you could turn pro. I mean, I hadn't heard that before. So yeah, those are two big people in my life that helped a lot. And my friend Callie Travers, she's another real good friend, super supportive. Lots of bodybuilders in the bodybuilding community. There's a gym out in Richmond, Virginia called RVA Iron, and they've had my back since day one, and they've really given me a lot of encouragement and support. And I've got friends out there. I mean, just a lot of people that have embraced me in this sport and helped me, feel like I belong.
Because with bodybuilding, it's a not a very big sport compared to others, but it's a great community. There's you're gonna have two people kind of be like, hey, you're not my friend, whatever. But you
It,
know what? When yeah,
it is the best community.
yeah, when y'all come together, you come together strong. I know I did some interviews where somebody said that they have lost their friends that they grew up with or come up with because they didn't understand what you were doing and
Right.
what you were, like I remember one lady told me how when she couldn't go out to out with some friends like to go to a bar because she has to be because one point about the process is sleep. Sleep is very important. She couldn't stay up all night and go drink and do that because it's not good for her, especially if she's prepping and training. I know one lady told me like she went to a wedding and she brought her own food because you go to a wedding, they gave you an option: chicken, fish, or steak. And she brought her own food because she couldn't eat the food there, couldn't eat the cake. But it's about understanding that you are progressing and changing your life. You are investing your time, your money, your mindset into a sport. And the everyday John Q public doesn't understand. But they said again, you are a woman, you are an athlete, and you do all you can do so you can get to that next level. We got a man YT. He says, Jessica can clap her hands several times. I wanted to listen to the noise. If I don't mind, please. Nah, you don't have to do that. No, nah, I asked her to do that because she has issues with her hands, and I don't want her to do any more of that. Like, hey, I'll clap for you.
Thank you.
You see, you get that clap. There you go, YT.
Thank,
But like I said, this people out there again. I'm gonna repeat myself. I might, if you're genuinely interested in supporting any of these ladies in the sport of bodybuilding, reach out, be genuine about your support. Be sincere. Don't be the weird, freaky guy who's out here. You make us guys who are fan of these ladies look bad. Some women don't like. I know I got a friend here, my man KL the Wanderer. He says, good speech, George. KL, he also does interviews with women. And sometimes he say like he gets frustrated because but I tell him this, sometimes guy, some of these ladies are kind of tentative about doing interviews because sometimes there's these weird guys out there. They might twist it. I mean, I was watching a thing where this guy, Kenny KO, you heard of him?
mm-mm.
Well, he's a YouTuber. He's also in the sport of bodybuilding. He was I think he was at the Olympia, and he was talking to people. Are they natty? Are they not? He
Okay.
talked.
Oh gosh, don't get me started on him.
Yeah, he talked to Teresa.
Yep. I
Yeah,
remember.
and you know what? Teresa should have did this. She should have just said what she said and walked away. She really sucked herself into that whole conversation, you know. And guys like that, I think he even did an interview. He even asked Chelsea Dion at a while back. People like that really, they're not really, I would say, fundamentally supportive as they're supposed to
He's
be.
vicious. He's vicious and he's evil, and people need to tell him to F off.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I'm not a mean person, but the stuff that he does is so disgusting. And then everybody that follows him and starts bashing all these people, it's unacceptable.
Mm-hmm.
It's unacceptable. It's like when I watch that, I get sick to my stomach because I can't believe somebody is so nasty. And it's usually women. Like I don't see him doing that with the men. I see him approaching the women and just completely wrecking them, trying to just smear campaign.
Mm-hmm. Well, he talks to the guys every now and then, but mostly, yeah, he does do more techniques to women. But I remember one of my favorite comedians, Bernie Mac, says, like, this is from the movie House Party 3. Boy, if people don't like who you are, fuck them!
That's right. I love it. I love it.
Yeah, I love that. I got it. I posted on a while back. It was like one thing I posted with. I have that. It was like a picture of him. Somebody drew a picture of him when we did like the Def Comedy Jam. We we said like I ain't scared. Say you ain't scared. Say but great guy. He really told the truth. My man YT is saying George wanted to Jessica claps. She is best female body for me, for mine, or whatever you say.
Oh,
And
yeah.
you guys need work on and he said also make here I'm weird guy too, but I play nice.
Okay.
Yeah, I know and also he says, what is this guy name? What he says, you must be talking about YT. But yeah.
Oh no, you're talking about the guy we're talking about that does the interviews for
Oh,
YouTube.
Oh, Kenny KO, yeah, Kenny
Oh,
KO, yeah. So don't I don't I know a couple people sent me some videos of him,
mm,
and I said and I see it sent me that somebody sent me one of my friends sent me that video of him and Teresa. I said, well, Teresa should just walked away. She should
yeah.
say what she said and walked away. You suck yourself in there. You sometimes you gotta say you should say, oh, you guess and just walk away from it. You
I,
don't let you
it,
don't let somebody.
they just need to, nobody need, people need to stop giving him attention. They just need to stop engaging with him. Like if he comes up, don't just be like, no, you don't get to talk to me.
Yeah, and I know I did an interview with Rita West. He asked the same thing. She said, "Yeah, I'm not natty." And Rita, she's a really down straight the forward chick. I interviewed her last year. But yeah, but the problem is people are just always going to go with the guys who are out there, and
Yeah,
they just that's how it is. It's just it's not fair, but it's just how things are.
it is.
So anyway, folks, I do appreciate y'all coming through and sharing, like, comment on this interview. My man Rolando G, Derek Bailey, Gaming YT, my man KLA the Wanderer. You know, Thank you for coming through. I know you guys are a fan of these ladies. You support these ladies. Like I said again, if you're interested in maybe being coached or just supporting Jessica in her path in sport of bodybuilding, her information are in the description. Also, I left her MILF made fitness site in the comment section. So if you want to reach out to her, maybe set up a plan for maybe coaching, training like that. Reach out to her. Be junior, but like guys, I tell you guys, but I know it's no good saying to you, no D pics.
That's right.
Stop it. She has kids. Last thing, like I know, her kids be like on the phone saying like, "Hey, mama, what's this? Okay, mama." Stop that.
I
Get
do.
some
They
help.
go through my pictures to look for pictures of themselves sometimes. So
Yeah, stop it. Get some help.
it's
Like I said again, these ladies, they don't like even women who are not female bodybuilders. They don't like shit like that. No women like that. I know guys we're into weird things, but come
and
on,
unless they
fellas.
ask for it, right? They can totally, girls can totally ask for it and then send them. But if don't unsolicit, no unsolicited dick pics.
Yeah, like I said again, like this. If you're a guy who genuinely wants to see ladies, hey, be a good guy. Say like, hey, Mr. Coleman, I think you're a great lady. I think you're amazing.
Yeah.
I just think you're beautiful.
Well, all of you guys have been fantastic today. So thank you.
Yeah. And like I said, we wish you all the best
Thank you, Joel.
in you upcoming, whatever you do. I hope we get healthy and safe recovery.
Thank you.
If you ever want to come back on, you're welcome. We can talk
All right.
whenever you feel like, hey, you want to, make an announcement, like, or just want to, or anything that comes up, you are a welcome guest
That
here.
sounds great.
Anyway, I do appreciate you for coming through and sharing your story. As I said, like this again, if you are someone out there who has the means and the way to sponsor an athlete, to get them to the next level, be sincere and genuine in your interests. Don't be that guy. Stop it. Get some help.
Get some help.
Here's that for that old Michael Jordan commercial we seen. Like, stop it. Get some help. Yeah. But anyway, I'd like to thank you again, and I hope all the best for you. I hope you have a healthy and safe recovery. Congratulations to your daughter on her going to college. Congratulations to your other daughter. And like I said, much respect to you as a woman, as an athlete.
Thank you.
As I said again, no need to thank me. I do this for a reason. Anyway, I'd like to thank y'all for all coming through and supporting my man Rolando G again, my man Derek Bailey, my man KL the Wanderer, also Gaming YT. So again, appreciate y'all guys.
Bye,
Like,
guys.
comment, share, subscribe, support women's sport of bodybuilding. And I say, have a good rest of your afternoon. This is me, always Judge Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Like, don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good rest of your day.